and there's a image of a snake going through the eye socket of an eagle. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And when you looked at that, without any question posed, you made it known to me, and I asked you to make it known to the jurors, that that was gang paraphernalia or gang message. Remember all that?
I don't believe that was consistent with my testimony.
You didn't tell this jury last week that there's another item on Mr. Williams 70 that is gang related?
That is not consistent with what my testimony was.
Well, when you told me that, hey, on number 70, I'd like to talk about that image, why did you do that?
So my testimony was that this was of note to I and other investigators at the time when this album was released. And the reason for that was not because we were trying to use it to get Mr. Williams. We were concerned that this imagery would be recognized by rivals as something insulting to them and may stoke the violence in the gang war, but at that point, we had been investigating for almost 3 years. So at that time, it was of note to us, along with similar imagery that we saw both from other members of YSL and rivals on the other side, making similar imagery in reverse.
The jurors will recall what you said, but do you deny telling the jurors that you believed that that was done for a gang message?
Again, my testimony was specifically that this was of note to us as investigators for the potential message that it was going to send to rivals and the potential to reignite a gang war that's been going on for quite some time at this point.
Now, you realized at the time of telling the jurors on that album cover or mixtape cover, you realized that Future, his symbol is an eagle, right?
I'm familiar with the Free Band's logo, yes.
And it's an eagle, right?
It is.
And are you familiar with Jeffery Williams and Future doing other mixtape releases?
Objection, Your Honor. Assuming things not.
A same objection.
I'm not assuming anything. Are you familiar with Mr. Williams and Future doing other mixtape albums is the question, sir. I'm not assuming anything in evidence.
I am familiar with them doing other work together, yes.
I couldn't. Okay, you said yes. Okay, and are you familiar with the artwork on other mixed tapes of Mr. Williams and Future?
I'm not.
Did you ever bother to look at whether on other mixtapes there's a snake and an eagle on the covers?
No, we weren't investigating album covers as crimes. Again, we were concerned about the imagery on this album cover when we saw it because of its potential to be perceived a certain way by their enemies and its potential, in our minds, of leading to violence that we would then have to investigate.
So, do you have any evidence to tell this jury that Jeffery Williams had any authority or input into that album cover that's on Mr. Williams number 7?
Again, we did not investigate an album cover.
So what is the answer? That my question is different. Do you have any evidence today, any day, that Mr. Williams had any involvement, authority, input into the album cover that's shown on the screen, Mr. Williams number 70?
No, and as I've said, we were not investigating the album cover or Mr. Williams' relationship with the album cover. We were investigating its possibility to inspire violence from rivals who may have seen in it what we were concerned may have been in it.
So you look at Mr. Williams number 70, what's on the screen, that artwork, and what you get out of it is that can somehow stoke a gang violence. That's what I hear you say. Is that true?
That is not consistent with my testimony that it was of note to us as investigators who I think would not be doing our duty if we didn't see that and prepare ourselves to interdict or mitigate potential gang violence in response to this image. especially given context outside of this, of what we saw after this from rival gang members and even other members of YSL using this same imagery in their own posts.
So you take, without any evidence, you take this artwork and somehow you put Mr. Williams involved with this artwork stoking, whatever your word was, gang violence.
Objection or mischaracterization of the testimony.
I stand by the objection.
Without any information that Mr. Williams is at all involved with even thinking about some gang or YSL as a gang. That's what you focused on when you saw the album cover.
Objection, counsel speculating, testifying, and mischaracterization of the evidence.
I stand objection.
Is that, when you look at this without any input, any evidence, anything objective that Mr. Williams
Objection,
had,
counsel is testifying.
I stand objection. Mr. Steele, don't testify, please.
without any information that Mr. Williams had any input in Mr. Williams number 7, the album cover, the mixtape cover.
Mischaracterization.
Salute to everybody in here. I appreciate y'all being here. Good morning.
I stand objection.
Your view of this case comes from your vision, right? That's fair to say?
I'm not even sure what that means.
You understand this case the way your brain tells you to, right? Let's say everybody.
I mean, in the sense that every thought that I have comes through my brain, sure, but I was not the only person that investigated this case, and a lot of the information from the case didn't only come from me or from my coworkers, but also from interviews with rival gang members, third parties not involved directly in the conflict, members of the gang itself. We have quite a bit of information from victims and witnesses and all manner of people that were involved in all aspects of this investigation.
But gang members and victims and witnesses part of this investigation, do any of them have any clue as to who birthed the artwork in Mr. Williams number 70 on Super Slimy mixtape?
No, I didn't ask that question, but unfortunately it doesn't really matter who birthed it. This image and its potential to lead to retaliatory violence was something we would have to deal with and mitigate,
That's
and
a
so
lie.
it was of note to us as investigators.
But don't you understand from what you're saying, you are taking an object that has nothing to do with any YSL gang.
Objection, Your Honor, that's mischaracterization.
Nah, that's true.
Counsel is testifying.
I stand objection.
Do you find it problematic in your role as an investigator, a gang investigator, that you're taking a piece of Mr. Williams number 70, that image, and you are portraying it as somehow involving a gang? Does that bother you?
Objection, Your Honor. It's not
Damn
relevant.
objection. Shut up.
Yeah, I stand in questions to form.
All right. Let me ask you this. Is it fair to say that it didn't matter to you or your fellow investigators or the prosecution why or how the artwork came out? Is that what you're saying?
Objection, Your Honor. Mischaracterization.
Stand.
Ask an answer at
I
this
stand
point.
objection.
All right. Let me ask you this. With regards to
Tap the like button.
this album cover, except how you took it and how you perceived other gang members took it, you did no investigation into how that was created. Is that true?
We had no reason to investigate how it was created, and so we did not.
Bro. Tap the like button for me, y'all. So, good morning. Some of y'all might be thinking, I already seen this. Yeah, I know. But we ain't even realize what was going on when we seen this. We really didn't get it. Yo, not only is the state dead wrong with this album cover thing, right? It actually is a microcosm of how they did their whole case. So the artwork, literally, the artwork, the art is a metaphor, right? Now, Amy, Lou, I don't know what's wrong with your name. So Luke, tap the like button for me, y'all. So basically the artwork is a metaphor for the collaboration, right? Now Holmes went and spent it as if it means beef, right? Now, you could debate this, but regardless with a picture, it's up to the person viewing it for real. I mean, you could ask the artist, what did it mean, or what was your meaning behind it? What did you want people to see when they see it? What did the musician that got you to do it, what was their intention? Holmes ain't do none of that research, bro. And went forward with saying that it will provoke a gang war. No research. A picture, a graphic of fake graphics, matter of fact. Like this it's all digital images put together. Photoshop. My man said just the image alone in the city of Atlanta will cause a war between gang members because they gonna be what? Offended that it's a bird's skull? Oh, so it's like sororities. Y'all made fun of our mascot, so we're gonna come over there and hurt one of you guys. You better not do that anymore. Wow. They can really just lock black people up like that. With just that shallow idea right there. Like, just think about that. That's what we dealing with in this case. This is crazy. And they really don't, they wrong too. That's the worst part. They put it up on this level of a scale. Dragging, shorty doing objections and all that. They did wrong. Like, I'm talking about provable wrong. Won't even accept that they wrong. And got somebody up here wasting the taxpayers' money and running Thug through the ringer. And you got evidence as a CD cover where you're claiming that the graphics depict beef. You claiming that two animals combined on a picture promotes beef.
Now, you stated that you have focused on Jeffrey for approximately 12 years. Is that fair to say, you or co-workers?
That is not at all what I've said.
I thought you said you back to 2012. I may be wrong on the year, but something like that.
Well, I've never said anything about our investigation focusing on Mr. Williams or for any period of time.
You don't know, though, when he left Cleveland Avenue area, correct?
I don't know what you mean by when he left the Cleveland Avenue area.
When he moved from that area.
I don't know when he moved from Cleveland Avenue.
You don't know when he moved outside of Atlanta, if at all, right?
I know that he did for a time live outside of Atlanta. I did not track his moves or record dates of his moves.
You never spoke with any type of expertise in African American culture, right?
That's an answer, sir.
You never bothered to look into the culture of hip hop or rap or how a musician advertises themselves. Right?
That's sustained.
You never looked at how a up-and-coming person or even a recognized artist
A snake couldn't kill an
interest in fan
eagle.
base, right?
No, sir. To the extent that has nothing to do with the criminal investigation, no, absolutely not.
Including social media posts to show
A snake can't kill an eagle, man.
in this case, Young Thug. You never did any type of investigation to see what fans wanted to see of the brand Young Thug, did you?
It was not of interest to us what his fans wanted to see, although I am familiar at this point in my career investigating gangs that gang members often do brand themselves around their gangs and participate in these types of promotions.
And do innocent people also promote themselves as gang
Objection.
members to promote their...
Improper.
That's the same question.
All right. Lyrics to songs. You have no idea whether the lyric to a song was, in this case, Mr. Williams' songs. You have no idea how those lyrics came about, do you? Who wrote them, who suggested them, who modified them, if anyone?
No, we had no part in the creative process.
Salute to everybody in here. Tap the like button.
Isn't it the duty of you and your coworkers and the prosecution, though, to find out the background of information that you're showing to the jury and you're telling about?
Objection, improper question.
Same question.
You testified last week that you knew that some of the tweets that you testified to on direct examination with the prosecution, you knew them to be lyrics from songs. Remember that?
No, I believe I testified that I believed some of them to be lyrics from songs, or that I didn't dispute your assertion that they were lyrics from songs.
Okay. And you said that the reason you did not mention that on direct examination is because you were not asked. Do you remember that?
I don't recall that, but no, I wouldn't have made statements that I wasn't asked.
Why wouldn't you correct and say this tweet may be or is from a song? Even if not asked by the prosecution,
Facts.
why wouldn't you tell the jurors?
Bad faith.
Well, I can't answer things that aren't asked by the prosecution under direct examination.
On Mr. Williams' number 70, I did not ask you about that image. You brought that up and said there's something else I want to say.
Well,
Remember that?
to your point, you brought this image up. I did not. The state did not. You brought this image up, and you asked for context around these images and around these tweets. What I wanted to share.
All right, as you can see, he not comfortable enough to keep his cool. So he know he not a gang expert to the extent that he's being presented. So if y'all peep game, Brian's still getting him agitated by attempting to basically call him phony. Bro, you're not a professional. You're not an expert in this area. Now he doing it the way a lawyer's supposed to do it, but if you ask me, he getting them bottled up. Holmes phony. And that's the lead investigator that the state want to run with, y'all, as a gang expert to give us all of the details. Him, Dennis, Gaither, Viverito, and Underwood. And that's why I'm playing it again. He is phony, bro.
With the jury was that it was of note to us when we saw this, given context outside of just what was happening on Twitter or on an album cover at that time. I don't believe that I said Mr. Williams' name, and that was the extent of my testimony to this, given that context around this. When I was under direct examination, I wasn't asked to give context for any of the tweets that I read into the record.
Yo.
And to the extent that I would have been asked, it is not uncommon or unusual for someone to quote a lyric, a movie line, a poem, or anything else to express a sentiment. And using a song lyric for that doesn't change that that's how people use lyrics regardless.
You testified about the hybrid gang YSL. Remember that?
I do.
And you talked about in your initial appearance before this jury in November of 2023, the color red. Do you remember that with YSL?
I did.
And then when I came and noted all these different colors that Mr. Williams wears, including the color blue, you said, well, he can do that. Remember that?
I don't think that's exactly the way that went, but yes, I did certainly clarify the way that gangs represent their colors.
You talked about that someone with YSL who's alleged blood affiliate, if it's a hybrid gang, would not like to use or would change the letter C. Remember that type of testimony?
As rough as that translation of it is, yes.
Okay. And yet, when I asked you about Jeffery Williams' album covers, songs and albums, statements that he used at Let Us See, you said, well, he can do that. Remember that?
I don't remember us discussing that.
Well, that's true, right?
What?
I'm sorry, I wasn't finished with my answer. I don't remember discussing that, but like any other identifier you see with a gang, there's not going to be 100% usage or non-usage of any given identifier.
You said that generally this hybrid gang, YSL, allegedly, if it is a gang.
Objection, Your Honor.
Objection to what?
I stand the question.
Alleged, if this hybrid supposed YSL gang, you
Objection,
test.
Your Honor. Using the word supposedly.
It is in fact on evidence. So I'll stand the question.
You testified that they're blood affiliated and therefore their rival, I guess is your word, is Crips. Remember something like that?
Again, that's probably a very rough translation of the testimony. I don't recall specifically what the questions and answers were.
But something like that you explained to the jury.
Facts,
Remember
Nicky.
that?
Again,
Salute,
I'm
Benicia.
not going to say whether I testified to anything without knowing the
I don't miss this coat. Now, technically, I like the coat, but she wore it back to back. I don't think you could do that on camera. Not back to back to back to back. Nah, especially not when it's geometric cow printed. Yo, what pattern is that? Those are stars? Hell no.
context of what my actual answer was.
But that's true, right?
It is true generally.
How much that coat cost? That shit ain't cheap. That cost $1,500. Ain't no way. It's too much material.
That Bloods and Crips have a rivalry. However, across the country,
Lil Rod, what is Lil Rod eating? And who ripped a hole in this chair? What is going on in here?
here, even in LA where these gangs originated, there are rivalries between Crip gangs. There
Oh, this
are
before they was
rivalries between
dating.
Blood gangs. Sometimes there are alliances across the aisle as well. So it's a generality. I would believe that's what my testimony was, and of course that would be the full picture.
But you explained to the jurors that Sergio Kitchens, according to you, is identified with a Crip gang. Remember that?
I do.
And Martinez Arnold goes by Duke. He is identified, according to you, as affiliating with a Crip gang. Remember that?
Yes.
But yet Jeffery Williams, you explained, does musically, maybe personally, have friendships with Mr. Kitchens and Mr. Arnold. True?
Yes.
So again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't apply to Jeffery, right?
What doesn't apply to him?
These rules that you're giving out, that's why it's a hybrid, right? That's what you explained to the jury.
Well, I wouldn't say that the rules don't apply to him. What I found in my experience and what the research has found across several decades is that gangs have rules, and as ardent as they may appear to be about their rules, some rules are loosely enforced. That's not just here, that's in Chicago, some research out of Chicago, research out of Los Angeles as well. Additionally, Atlanta is unique in that we did not have these traditional gangs here for many decades after much of the country actually had an influx of traditional style gangs. So many people have friendships or relationships that predated their association with a traditional gang.
Agnes, what up?
In Atlanta specifically, this is not unusual
What's
for
up?
us to see someone affiliated with a blood set, still associating with or having friendship or working with musically someone who's associated with a Crip set.
What is the date that Jeffery Williams became friends or associates with Mr. Sergio Kitchens, performer known as Gunner?
I don't know when their relationship began.
Now, this hybrid supposed YSL gang,
Objection, Your Honor, with the supposed.
Stand the question.
no rules to enter, you told the jury, right?
So hold on,
I don't
hold.
believe that I said that.
What? Hold on. He can't say alleged? We can keep calling these boys criminals and all that, but he can't say, hold on, why? Ho.
Gang.
Objection.
Now, this hybrid supposed YSL
Yo, you can't say supposed. That's cap. Tap the like button, y'all. Salute to everybody in here. It's Sunday. We grinding. Need 100 likes. You know it's Sunday. People be gone to church or they just ignorant. You know what I mean? It's slow. People be sleeping in. I need some likes on the board. You know what I mean? I did this recap. Well, I ain't going to explain. If you're around, you know what time it is. If you knew, and this was so early in the trial, we need to go back so we can see the state's case in totality. The more we move forward, you almost forget about what the hell happened in the beginning. So this is somebody that's important. I told y'all it's 5 gang experts allegedly. They going to keep coming back. Couple of them pop up more than once in the trial to actually like confirm an overt act or to give details about a subject, right? So basically the state is building a case on them with the witnesses in between that's not really going to say nothing, especially not incriminating Jeffrey. So this is crazy.
gang.
Objection, Your Honor, with the supposed.
Stay in the question.
No rules to enter, you told the jury, right?
I don't believe that I said that. Again, I don't recall what my specific question or answer was for that.
No rules to exit the supposed gang, right?
Objection, Your Honor, with supposed.
I stay in the question.
Yo, why can't he say suppose?
I think there was an objection to your question.
I'm mad
No rules
about
to
that.
exit, right?
I don't believe that I testified that.
Is that true?
I don't believe that I testified whether that was true or not.
I'm asking you.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't believe I testified that they have a codified set of rules such as a traditional gang would have.
So it's fluid based upon how you, like that album cover, mixtape cover, view the evidence. Is that right?
Is what fluid?
This supposed gang,
Objection to supposed.
Yo, he
Mr.
keep dragging.
Williams.
Stay in the objection.
Mr. Williams, supposed gang affiliation.
Objection to supposed.
I stay in the question.
Yo. Yo, why I ain't peep him doing this before, y'all? Who peeped him keep doing this to her like this? I never peeped it. Yo, we got some new emotes too, y'all. Look, we got the Jerry Glanville joint.
Fluid. Everything you
We got Big
testified to
Snake.
about Mr. Williams, whatever the facts
Bow
you
tie.
get, that will fit a hybrid gang. Is that what you're telling the jury?
That is not at all what I'm telling you.
Yo, become a member, yo, so you can use the emotes and help me get more. So, salute to all y'all, man. Got 200 members. I ain't even pay no attention to it. I appreciate that. Yeah, salute to all y'all. Just 200 members. Salute to Bruce Wayne. He be gifting members. He probably got us over the threshold for real. A couple extras. He did like 15 the other day. Salute to all y'all, man. I appreciate that. Super chat, Cash App, all that. Straight up. New subscribers. If you can't become a member, don't trip. I ain't even worried about it. Just type in the chat. Tap the like button. That's cool.
Again, this has been my experience, my observations, and much social science research supports the fact that the majority of street gangs are not traditional gangs. In fact, recent research over the past few years has shown that one of the defining characteristics of a modern street gang is its ability to transition and to change itself, oftentimes towards a more structured approach. But the majority of street gangs are not highly structured traditional gangs. Fluid is maybe not the right word.
Whoa. Ba-dunk, bonk, bonk.
Hey, where the posted nigga at right now? What's going on with posted?
Hold on, Posted came up.
I have to see EBAN. I'm gonna break that nigga face.
Yeah, I can't give
Keith.
Poacher back to late night.
What
That
up?
ain't happening. No, 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 no.
Yo, he just dropped the ball, bro. Hold on, let me listen again. Let me see if I can get this. Let me use this for defense. Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Oftentimes towards a more structured approach, but the characteristics of recent research over the past few years has shown that one of the defining characteristics of a modern street gang is its ability to transition and to change itself, oftentimes towards a more structured approach, but the majority of street gangs are not highly structured traditional gangs.
I thought you need structure for it to be a RICO. Bro, they just lied, bro, and try to fold the law to fit these new gangs that's not organized, bro. Straight up. They're bending the law. Yo, check all other RICOs, bro. Check other RICOs. The tier system is developed when you talking about a gang. Ain't no loose structure like you. Nah, the structure. Where the structure, bro? Loose structures can't be loose. They fall down. So what you talking about? Structure. Like, nah, bro. He just fumbled. He trying to adapt to new times where these guys is not organized, y'all, and they don't fit the script. They're not. That's why they not running up a super bag. They not organized or structured. There's every man for himself. That's why the back door open. You can't backdoor in that structure. It's the whole point. This thing of ours. You buck on what the overall majority say, and we stepping on you. Ain't no one man.
Much social science research supports the fact that the majority of street gangs are not traditional gangs. In fact, recent research over the past few years has shown that one of the defining characteristics of a modern street gang is its ability to transition and to change itself, oftentimes towards a more structured approach. But the majority of street gangs are not highly structured traditional gangs. Fluid is maybe not the right word. They're not that loose, but they are able to essentially.
Yo, hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. My man just moved the field goal post like 3 times in this one answer. They're not that loose. They not structured. They not that loose. My man just, hold on, hold, bro, hold.
Fluid is maybe not the right word. They're not that loose, but they are able to essentially write their own rules.
Yo is just literally throwing Rico out the window. Yo, he literally throwing the whole idea out the window.
What's important to note about that is that while gang structures are widely varied, gang processes are very similar across this entire spectrum of gangs. And so we see similar behaviors promoted and reinforced amongst the gangs, even as their structure and the layout of that gang may actually change.
Hey, yo, what was that gang of police called in L.A.? The Executions. What they was called? The ones that was bending their shield.
If somebody like Jeffery Williams has an image of Young Thug, brand of Young Thug, that brand portrays a gangster rap persona. Do you realize that?
Objection, counsel's testifying.
That's the same objection.
Do you know personally from your investigation whether Young Thug brand performs gangster rap?
I've not investigated any brand as part of this investigation.
Do you know what gangster rap is?
I do.
Do you know that it comes with music?
Objection, counsel's testifying.
That's the same objection.
I'm asking a question. Do you know if it comes with music?
Do I know if what comes with music?
Gangster rap produces music. I'm asking you that question.
It If gangster rap produces music,
Yeah. Is it involved in music? Gangster rap, that term.
it is a musical genre, yes.
And does it also, if you know, promote music videos?
I'm trying to, I feel like I'm making up your question for you.
Does Young Thug brand have music videos?
Objection, Your Honor, to Young Thug brand that's testifying.
I stand the objection.
It is based on the evidence.
Does the performer Young Thug participate in music videos?
Yes, he does.
And during those music videos, how long has he been doing that?
I don't know when he started making music videos.
And videos, when Mr. Williams, let's go back to 2010, 11, 12. Are you familiar with any videos from that approximate time frame that involve Mr. Williams?
Are you talking about music videos?
Talking about any videos.
I am aware of videos of Mr. Williams from that time period.
And during that time period, tell the ladies and gentlemen jury how you know that if a video is released, let's say on the social media, how you know whether that video was intended to be used by Mr. Williams to promote Young Thug brand or otherwise. Tell the jurors how you would know if you weren't there.
Objection is a compound question.
I stand the question.
Taking any video from any time, but Jeffery Williams in the video, how would you know to the jurors, tell the jurors, whether he was promoting his brand, Young Thug?
To the extent that I know what his intent.
So the LA police then had multiple gangs. So we naming multiple ones. Yeah, Rampart, the Bandinos, you say? The Executioners was one too. It's a whole bunch of them though. No, the weird part about it is how none of the state don't use none of the police gangs as an example. So I think the defense should start opening up that door, like if we're going to use some examples, let's use some examples. Let's use all of them.
Is ever, I wouldn't know that necessarily. However, my interest would not be if he's promoting his music, but what connection that promotion, even if it is of music, has to do with criminal gang activity. That would be my only interest in any video of Mr. Williams.
And that's like what you saw of the album cover that's on the screen. You just look at everything through your vision of gangs, right?
No, that's not true at all. As I said, I certainly talk to other people in law enforcement, other people that I work with, but we routinely interview gang members themselves, members of these gangs that are associated with this case, members of rival gangs, citizens who are not involved in gang activity at all. All of those things help to inform the context, our understanding of our investigations.
Did you ever interview the videographers or managers for Jeffery Williams, performer known as Young Thug?
Objection, accident.
Sustained.
I don't believe that was asked or answered.
Mr. Steele.
Who did you interview who was associated with the business end of Young Thug?
Objection, that was accident.
I stand the question.
All right, let me ask you this. Remember Mr. Walter Murphy, we talked about him a lot on tweets?
Yes, sir.
And his handle is something like cartel with a K_DK, you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And is it fair to say, if you know, and if you don't know, just say I don't know, that Walter Murphy committed crimes, including violent crimes, prior to the year and including the year 2015? Would you say that that's true?
I would.
All right. And did you know, if you do know, that he was heavily addicted to drugs during that time? If you know.
Objection, relevant.
I need this clip too.
I want you to tell, and this is the same person who was promoting through the tweets Jeffery Williams' music, right?
Salute to everybody in here. Tap the like button. We on recap mode. So look, we finding jewels. Now, if you don't know about the guy that's on the stand, if you ain't see this testimony, I ain't gonna lie. This one, as far as testimonies in the state is relying on this to convince the jury that this is a legitimate gang. He's one of the ones that the state actually relying on. See, all of the non-expert witnesses, I don't think they really relying on facts. They trying to make people character look bad with the other people, right? Kind of give examples of different things that happen and, the event. Well, these dudes is like a general overall. Let me tell you how bad gangs are and compare these guys while you're listening to the trial. So without the gang experts, they damn sure can't make a case. I'm going to keep it real. Without the dressing, these people is really dressing it. They come into court and put all the dressing on it, make it a salad that's edible, for real, because otherwise it would just be pieces of stuff that's thrown in a bowl, for real. Imagine you just came and looked. A whole bunch of just cabbage, carrots, lettuce. You like, what is this? Pickles, dill, diet, thrown in there. You like, nah, I don't want this. It's Italian sausage. You like, what is this? It's like some type of goulash or something. Then they come and put some like fancy ass French dressing on it. You like, oh, that's a salad. That's a salad. I didn't even know. Put some bacon bits on that bitch then.
Remember that?
I'm so sorry. Could you repeat your question?
That's what he doing, y'all. He putting dressing and bacon bits on this shit, man. You heard.
This is the same person, the cartel _DK, Walter Murphy.
The jury will not eat that shit if it ain't got no. I'm telling you, this shit phony. It's a bag of bad lettuce, man. Without the dressing, it's just a bag of bad lettuce.
Just for the jurors' memory, who was also promoting Jeffery Williams going to the Stop the Violence concert, showing his mixtapes. You remember all that?
I'm sorry, that was all over the place. What was the question?
This is the same person, DK, cartel _DK, Walter Murphy, who was also promoting Jeffery Williams' music on the tweets that we discussed with the jurors.
Yes, I believe some of the tweets he was mentioning Mr. Williams' music.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how many times Jeffery Williams has met with Mr. Walter Murphy, known as DK or Cartel DK, after or since 2015.
Objection, speculation.
That's the same.
If you know, don't speculate at all. Do you know how many times Jeffery Williams ever met with Mr. Walter Murphy after the year 2015?
I couldn't possibly know that.
Well, you could know it from your investigation, right?
I don't know that the information is available to find out.
Yo, he even made Belknap laugh. You heard? He even laughed. Like what?
With Mr. Walter Murphy after the year 2015.
I couldn't possibly know that.
Well, you could know it from your investigation, right?
I don't know that the information is available to find out every time that they met since 2015.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury then how many times Mr. Williams spoke. Social media, telephone, Instagram chat, whatever, with Walter Murphy after the year 2015.
I wouldn't have.
Objection, speculation, relevance.
If you know, I'm not answering. Okay? Don't speculate. Tell the jurors how many times the two of them have spoken through any mechanism.
I don't know.
You analyzed, and your teammates, Jeffery Williams' financial records. Is that
Brian Steele used to play baseball or some shit, man.
true?
I did not investigate Mr. Williams' financial records.
Okay. Did your coworker do that?
I don't know who investigated his financial records.
Oh,
Do
you don't
that
know.
they've been investigated?
I don't.
You have no idea what Mr. Williams.
Ask and answer.
That's the same question.
Tell the jurors, forget about looking at the finances, how
My bad,
much
y'all.
money has Jeffery Williams funneled to YSL members on Cleveland Avenue?
I don't know.
I'd like to go back to,
Yo, why it sound like they in a refrigerator? The hell going on with their audio? Got like a refrigerator, like we in a corner store. It's like 10 freezers running in this bitch. What is this?
the tweets to finish up what you did with the state, all the tweets.
Yo.
And I believe, because we told the jurors we'd go through them all, I believe that we were up to State's Exhibit number 42W, I think.
How many?
Do you remember that tweet?
Not off the top of my head. And I don't have my materials in front of me anymore.
You see, I took it on in last night. What you mean? I was grinding, man. I let it breathe. I was gonna pop out. Then I was like, nah, you know what? That's doing too much. Let me just relax. It's pushing heavy content. Let it breathe a little bit. Don't do too much. Nah, I relaxed. I let it breathe. I'm glad you noticed that I didn't. Oh, you think I got you? Come on, bro. You know I could have. You see what's going on. Ain't like it ain't nothing to post. You feel me? But I relaxed. I was at the computer. Yeah, you was here, Cleve. I ain't gonna lie. Nah, that's why, I ain't think you was on no sucker shit. For real. Like, once somebody sit around and be normal, I don't assume they a troll. Once I see that you be normal then your opinion valid. When you don't agree with me. Like, if you sit around and be regular and show me that you got good faith, then you could get radical when I say something that you don't like. Because now I know it, well, at least he good faith. He must really his opinion is valid. So, I ain't never think you was on. That was the chance for me to really check, though. Like, yo, hold on, Cleve. Tell him. I ain't assume you was. Your name too ignorant to be, you feel me? Like, it's not even a troll. I don't even think you trying to troll. Like, it's too blatant. Like, you're a bad troll if you use that name. So, I never really expected you to be a troll.
Yeah, I can, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Thank you.
And most of them not really mad, y'all. They just want to cause a little static.
42W?
Let's see if I can find it.
Some of them off a little bit, too, though. We need them, though.
I have it.
Okay. And that's a May 12th, 2018 tweet. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
And this is what we left off of the last time we were together before the jury, correct?
I believe so.
Actually, the last time we were together. Okay, and I stopped at the Free Band gang. Remember that?
I do.
And then I started asking you about the mixtape album artwork. Remember all that? Okay, and Free Band, you already testified that's Future's record label, right?
I did.
And it's connected to, Epic Records and Sony Music, right?
I don't know what label it's connected to.
Whoa!
I'm looking at him dead in his eye. What we doing?
Yo. What'd he just say?
That's Future's. And then I stopped at the Free Band gang. Remember that?
I do.
And then I started asking you about the mixtape album artwork. Remember all that? Okay, and Free Band, you already testified that's Future's record label, right?
I did.
And it's connected to, Epic Records and Sony Music, right?
I don't know what label it's connected to.
You're not aware of that?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. That's pretty bad, y'all. That's pretty bad. Because, knowing the parent company of a record label that an artist is signed to when you looking into them is like one of the first 5 questions if you checking how something was done. Who's in control of this? Where the money come from? Oh, they in charge. And once you find out who Sony and Epic are, you'll understand that there is a heavy-duty branch that controls marketing. Whole umbrella of a company. The company wouldn't survive without this company. We talking about elaborate branding being done, street teams, all of these types of things. Internet teams that evolved from the street team, right? Which is basically hordes of people that go around and try to find out what's the next move to pull to be able to put in place a new person or brand or item into people's hands or ears or eyes. You understand? All right. So his lack of research into who is behind or connected to this album cover is despicable, right? Because look, right? Sony and Epic, I mean, if you look at album cover, how important this is, right? Hence, I got a wall of album covers right here. This is one of the biggest parts of the music, y'all. Look. Well, I don't know if you can see them. If you don't know, the album covers on the wall. Long story short, they're one of the most important parts of selling this stuff, y'all. All right, I'm going to skip ahead, and I ain't going to give you the long version. The artist's not in control, y'all. Does he have say? Yeah, some way more than others. Can some really hard stamp what they want the album cover to be? I give you about 10%. The top that done already proved their creativity. Real rap. Do they still have to work with another person or maybe a team at the label that assists and directs the artist's vision with their opinion added in? I'm going to have to bust it down to that's 99%. Even the ones that got control and can say, oh, I want it to be like this. It still go through a group of people that have to make decisions that have nothing to do with what the artists want. We're talking about all types of different decisions done on the back end. Straight up. Yeah, he got the artwork done. We let him go in, send us some joints in. One of them not aesthetically correct. First off, it's not aesthetically pleasing. We just ain't jacking it. Our team say it ain't right. Tell them we ain't jacking. We ain't taking that one. Tell them so it's out of 2 and 6. You feel me? What my whole moral to this story is, what I'm telling you, to suggest in a courtroom that the artist himself, a gang member, did this artwork to gaslight a local beef when putting out a national album. You clearly reaching. Straight up. Clearly, y'all. Then to answer this man and say he didn't look into the label or reach out to the graphic artist development team, marketing team at the label, marketing team on the artist's label. None of that, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. He might as well just throw this evidence up, this whole cover. They might as well just start over and just throw this shit out the evidence. They embarrassed themselves with this cover, y'all. Now, let me tell you the other reason why I'm going in about this part. Now that we looking back, do y'all understand the extent of them reaching to try to lock this boy up? Yo, we got the flying car. We got this right here. We got the half a head where Holmes ain't even involved. Thug is not even implicated at all in the half a head situation, y'all. So my man then got caught with a pistol a couple times and he labeled a gang member. And he ain't got no charges, no felonies right now. So yo in a RICO right now for being around niggas allegedly that was doing shit under the name that is similar to his label. Woo! This is crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like really looking at this shit right now, this is crazy. The law done broke law. Yeah, the law done broke law, bro. Listen, when they raided Holmes' house for the domestic terroristic threats, bro, they did a raid for that, got yo, but took evidence for the nut shit. It ain't get thrown out till just now. So they illegally did that shit back then, and it took 8 years for them to figure out that it was illegal? So they took this to court to try to solve nut murder, all to bring it into the court and get the damn evidence thrown out and move further away from being able to solve Nut's murder. Y'all paying attention? They claim they was moving forward because they feel like they can solve this. And actually got the goddamn evidence they was going to use to solve it thrown out. Yo, they literally fumbled the case in front of us and we still watching. Seriously, y'all. We at that part too. It's supposed to be all types of shit coming into evidence right now. Man, all that shit got thrown out. Text messages, I think the damn cell phone tower evidence, all that. I ain't gonna lie. Cause it come from the cell phones and laptops. They probably had songs, all types of shit. They had hard drives. All that shit got suppressed, man. I ain't gonna lie. They damn near should have thrown the case out then. What about dude saying it was a different car? That's reasonable doubt on the back end. I ain't gonna lie. We might hear about that different car shit. At the end, when they talk to the jury and be like, yo, what made you not be able to, like, how was it a hung jury? And they like, yo, juror number 9 said he wasn't going for that Bonneville shit. Say he can't convict the person if they ain't got somebody saying it's a whole nother car. I'm not convicting nobody when you got a person that got shot saying it's a different car. Hard stamp too. And hold on, let me tell y'all something that's tricky about Holmes. Holmes hard stamped that he sold drugs. So that's conflict of interest when you saying if this nigga trustworthy. Let me explain. So normal idea is people deny shit when it make them look bad, right? So in this example, you can use the fact that Holmes told the truth about selling drugs. You could use that in your favor of why would he lie about that? He already told us the truth. I mean, he told us the truth about being a drug dealer. Even though y'all know that's still a play. You know the door is still open to pull a finesse move. But it plays with the idea of whether the person is credible or not. I mean, he told us he sold drugs. I mean, why would he lie about this other shit? You heard. Oh, good one, Lee. All right, Lee say, I don't think Nut busts back. Nobody ever said return fire. Well, I will. I mean, that's interesting. I don't know about. I mean, if you don't hit nothing, your return fire is irrelevant, right, Lee? Especially 4 shots in comparison to 19 that laid you, you feel me? I don't know if I would have mentioned it either, Lee. I was like, he tried to say it to make you a champion on the back end. Like, he ain't go out like no sucker. Nah, he banged it back. He tried to give him a little credit on the back end, y'all. Or the forensics really proved that he did. So if that's the case, who had the other jiffy? So is we saying the other 2 joints was in the car, or somebody else out there had another one? Because we still got the third one. What we saying? A 9, a 4, 5 in that 762. Who got what? Hold on, y'all. We heard different audio yesterday. Yo, why did somebody come in the barbershop off top and say homie dead? Why they do that, y'all? Why they do that, y'all? Remember what we heard? And we heard them boys scrambling, talking about get them guns out of here. How they say it, y'all? Hold on, y'all. When we changed that audio and turned them boys up in the background, we could hear some whole other, man, them boys was talking crazy a little bit, wasn't they? Definitely the barbers was understanding of what's going on, right? Let me ask y'all. That was Styles P that was talking? What? Was that the dude that looked like Styles P? Was that him talking? Good morning. Salute to everybody in here. Tap the like button. Help you get to 100. We grinding. Think it was friendly fire? Hey, yo. When that coroner dude was up there, did he say which bullets did what? I swear I start drifting. I don't even remember, yo. I might have really zoned out during that time period, y'all, because I don't be trying to hit. Plus, I don't know. I ain't really into that. Like, I seriously started zoning out when Holmes was up there looking like Tony Hawk. You heard? Tap the like button. Them boys was trying to get the strap. What'd they do with the straps? He didn't say. Damn, hold on, bro. Hold on. So if we got a missing gun, how can we say that the bullet that killed them came from the car? Whoa. You can't do that. You got to tell me which one did what. No. You got to prove that gun came from over there. You saying it's coming from some car that we can't even determine on the video footage. Now you're not telling me which one of the bullets killed him? No. Clearly someone was shooting from over on his side. You need to determine whether no, hell no. Nah. And somebody sent me the video of Tiger getting locked up recently too. With the strap and all the grass. So Tiger that got hit out there, they said he a Crip now. I don't know for sure, don't quote me. But the young boy that got hit out there, yeah, they got some body cam footage of getting locked up recently with the strap. You know, with the royal blue on. He ain't coming to court. So is he a Summerhill dude that Holmes was talking about? What y'all think about that? Yeah, Grease. I mean, I don't know if he a Crip. Nah. I don't know, technically, if he a Crip. The person that sent it to me said possibly. You know what I mean? The way they worded it. Oh, my bad.
You don't got to do all that. I ain't resisting. I'm not resisting. Okay, bro. I'm not resisting, man. I'm not resisting, man. I'm not gonna keep telling you. Can I put my shoe on? Can I you can get my phone. Let me put my shoe on. Turn around. Bro, ain't nobody resisting, bro. Can I get my shoe, bro? Now I'll put your shoe on. Yeah,
should have resisted. It's him right here, y'all.
Show me a good 2 contain. I'm gonna be out with 5.576.
He looked like Roddy Rich.
Here, I was trying to get it to you, man.
I would have booked on him.
I'm getting it to you.
Spin move.
Man,
Roll, duck and run. Roll, duck and run.
No, just give me you on the system. I trust you. I believe
roll, duck and run.
I believe everything you're saying, brother.
Too late.
I do.
Too late. Roll, duck and run. Booyaka. Yo, why they riding like this, y'all? Why are they even riding like this? Yo, where was he going? Illegal tent. Cordarius Sanders. Now that's one of the people that was hit with nut that day.
A man taking photos made a disturbing discovery.
All right, now.
Yeah, that's Lil Yo right there, yo. What you think? Tap the like button. Help me get to a Hunsky. Help me get to a Hunsky. I don't know where they was going with that work in that bag like that. If you know you got that book bag, y'all, yo, soon as you see the law, you supposed to tighten up your shoestrings if you're in that passenger seat and you see the law out in, I don't care if you going the opposite way in traffic. If you see that car, you say, yo, you see them? All right, say less. Let me know if they turn around. Nigga, I'm not even letting them get up on this car, bro. I'm telling, bro, why would you wait? Why wait, bro? That's lazy. That's lazy.
The same day, May 12, 2018.
Lazy.
I'd like to ask whether you looked at the other tweet.
I blame the driver. Cause you supposed to drive a certain type of way. First off, riding in a legal tent with that book bag right there, you's a goofy. You a goofy. Straight up, you want to go to jail. Straight up. All right, listen. If you scared of your ops so much, you gotta be behind tent where nobody really can see you. You need to stay the fuck off the street. I ain't gonna lie. You need to do something else. You don't need to be moving around like this. You putting people in jeopardy. Because now you riding around with all this work. You in these some illegal tents. You basically waiting to get pulled over. You got the extracurricular on the yisto. Why you got the extra thing with that? You know what they gonna do with you. Then you got the bag. You don't even want to be on the street. You try and go to the feds for 30, huh? What are you thinking? Dumb mistakes. Nah, Lee, that's different. You got a choice. You ain't had to leave that bag with that bag like that. Bro, listen, bro. If you gotta carry that bag, get in the Uber.
Hey, where the posted nigga at right now?
The
What's
bus.
going on with posted?
Hold on, posted came up.
I have to see
You
EBAN.
do
I'm
not
gonna break
ride
that
with
nigga
your
face.
mans. That's a felon. They got the dark tints on the jaw. You got too much, yo, that's too much work. Yeah, I'm with Hollywood, man. Soon as I seen him, I'm telling you, y'all, I'd have put the book bag on, strapped it up tight. You know what I'm talking about. 2 straps down on the book bag. And I'm hitting the wind. I'm gone. Like a fucking college receiver. Gone. Chopping.
From Mr. Williams' Twitter account.
You'd have thought we was at the Combine, shorty. The Combine. Straight up.
What I'll mark as Mr. Williams
Straight
number
up.
72.
Are you approaching with it first?
Sure.
Yo.
Your Honor, can Mr. Kokomo come forward?
Hey, man.
Yo, if it's us against them, we gotta get the drop. So soon as you see the law, you supposed to be prepared. Yo, if they get close, bro, I'm running. So slow this bitch down. I'm pre-warning. Yo. Oh, the Uber, Grease? What? Grease, you don't wanna know. You don't wanna know about me in that cab. Yeah, Grease, you don't wanna know about me in that cab or that bus. What you know? Boy, turning the cabs up. What? Who the fuck know about catching a cab around the corner? Yo, niggas call them sedans. Y'all got them? Sedans, nigga.
Can Mr. Kokomo approach you?
Of course.
Lee, what you mean you putting it on a high speed if it's just you? I'm putting it on a high speed no matter who in the car. What?
Take a look at what I'll mark as Mr. Williams number 72, today's date. Okay, I see it. Okay. And do you have any reason to believe that this is not the tweets on the same day that Mr. Williams also has on his Twitter account, what's marked and on the display of State's Exhibit number 42W?
Your Honor, we would ask that Mr. Kokomo continue to show investigators.
Yo, hold on, y'all. I got a treat for y'all. Hold up.
Well,
We about to
do you need
geek
to look
real
at the
quick.
full
Watch
exhibit?
this.
I did not look at the dates. I just reviewed what was on the screen
Oh.
generally.
Can
See,
Mr. Kokomo
let me see.
approach again, Your Honor?
Yes, he may.
No, they're not all from the same date.
Okay, well, the ones on May 12, 2018, that's my question first.
You're asking if the ones from May 12, 2018 are on the same date?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Mr. Kokomo, you got ahead of me, but Mr. Kokomo also showed you tweets purportedly from Mr. Williams' Twitter account from August 12th, that's wrong, August 22, 2011, February 6, 2012, and December 9, 2015. Do you see that?
Yeah, I think it's December 19th, 2015, but yes.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I'm going to ask you about those as well. Okay?
Great.
I'm going to ask you about that in a moment, though. If you need to see them again, we'll show them to you. Now, were you aware that Mr. Williams' Twitter account, whoever was in charge of it, also used, similar to State's Exhibit 42, other tweets where he uses the word?
Hold up, y'all.
South Capitol Street massacre.
Hold up, y'all. Where this shit? Is this the right one? Hell no. Is it? Hell no. Hold on.
Today we will talk about the war between Trinidad and 21st and Lincoln Heights youngins taking law enforcement on a chase around the district, then ditching the car, all on live video. Recently,
Yo, who seen this, y'all? Who seen this?
They went our ass, ho. This ain't slow for real. This ain't slow, ho.
Yo.
You got to.
Yo, we got a problem, y'all. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's going
That's
on,
what
man.
I'm telling them, boss him. He playing this shit.
Oh my God.
Oh shit. Nah, they chasing Shaman them. Hop out on their ass, just one car. No, boy. We ain't hopping out, boy.
Yo, red light.
There we go. Now we dusting their ass. Bob.
Yo, pay attention, y'all.
They on us?
Listen. Yo, do you see where he got the camera at? Yo, do y'all see what's going on? Who he talking to, though? Yo, who he talking to?
And there's one right there. Lord.
Go.
You gotta go.